Hey!
Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 2 of the Hub World Podcast. I'm Mateo, and today I'm joined by Gino.
Jules.
Phil.
Yes, welcome, Phil, to the your Hub World debut. This has been something we've been meaning to do for a really long time. Getting you in early is, I think, a very good thing that we've done.
Yeah, very important.
Yeah,
Oh, thank you.
I
I'm
can
glad to be here. Talk about games.
really liking your setup with the CRT in the background.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Is that F-Zero?
Yeah,
No,
it's
Chrono Trigger.
Chrono Trigger. Yes, and
Okay.
this is a PVM 2030 from 1990, so it's time appropriate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you ever get that monitor itself looks so good in person too, and I really like even like the little effect that we're kind of seeing on like the stream here, where like it's still it shows some lines every now and then. I guess just based off of the frame rate of
Yeah.
the camera.
It's hard to record. Like I have the thing recording at 60, so it's synced up, so you don't get too much flickering. And I actually had to turn this way, like in person, it's like way down the brightness, so it's not like blooming and shit. But yeah, it's pretty good. I love it. It's like the best way to play retro games. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's solid.
So today we're going to be talking about. Actually, we're going to be doing something different, and I don't think we've ever done this even on the original Hub World channel, the original podcast. We're going to make a top 10 list live on air here. So it's going to be very similar to the way we made our essentials lists. So basically, each of us are going to nominate 3 or 4 games, or sorry, not games. Each of us are going to nominate 3 or 4 different controllers, because we're going to be making a list of this is the Hub World's official top 10 controllers of all time list. Like, take it to the bank. This is the list we will be referring to in the future if we ever talk about this.
Until the Steam controller comes out.
But it's going to be very similar to the essentials, where we'll nominate controllers, 3 or 4 each, like I said. Then we're going to deliberate. We're going to whittle that number down to 10, and then we're going to rank each controller on the final list. So, and also, by the way, if you like what we're doing here at the Hub World, please consider liking and subscribing to the channel. It goes a long way. So, would anyone like to kick off the nominations?
I could do one. Let's go.
Yeah.
Okay. So, picture it's 1990. NES is pretty big. You got some other ones that are coming in. PC Engine kind of just copies the same kind of controller, 2 buttons. You know, Genesis just came out. They added 1 extra button. Ooh, you got 3 now. But then, Super Nintendo. So what we got here, they softened out the edges. You know, no more square.
Mine has extras.
They geniusly added 2 extra buttons. So now we got 4. But they turned it so it actually goes perfectly with your thumb. And this is the same kind of setup you have in modern controllers. So it's pretty much perfect. And what people don't really usually think about, is these guys back here. These were brand new to the Super Nintendo. The shoulder pads. Yeah. So you got not just 1, not just 2.
6 buttons.
Yeah. You got 6 buttons. Plus the start and select D-pad. Yeah, but this thing super smooth.
So I assume we all have done the same thing and have the controllers that we're going to talk about on hand, like to the side.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a knockoff one here, so.
I have the SNES Classic SNES controller because I didn't want to open my CIB SNES to get the original controller, but these are basically the same thing. Like, Nintendo reproduced the controller from all the way back in 1991. So, SNES is definitely a solid addition. So, if you guys see us fiddling with any controllers, we're just getting the feel of the controller. We're going to be using these actually to help
remember
inform our decision and exactly remember what it was like. So do you know what? If at any point you need me to hand you a controller, got them all
Mateo, I will be asking you to pass me the Atari Jaguar controller.
Well, we do not have that, so.
Oh well.
This setup is killer.
It is a very nice controller. This was my first controller I ever owned of anything.
Yeah, this is the
There's,
first thing I ever played.
Child muck and all between all of the buttons, but it's a solid controller. It's great. It's got tears and electric in the wire.
That's how you know it's loved.
It's well loved.
It's solid. Well loved by me and all my cousins as it lived at my Nona's for.
Oh, as I watch you wrap the cable though, Jules. Oh gosh, no.
Oh yeah,
no.
I am the. Everybody on the internet, you can comment and get outraged. I am the person who takes the least care of things.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's my original SNES controller.
It still works. You must be doing something right.
Well, Nintendo's doing something right. That's why they build these things to last. I can toss it off a building and it's probably fine.
Yeah,
Game Boy to the moon.
It's super simple too. Like I've taken these apart. It's just like a PCB and some pads. That's it. I don't even think there's like a single chip in here. It's super solid. Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna go next. I'm gonna stick with Nintendo. I'm going with the Wii Remote.
Oh, big one.
Ooh,
Okay.
And I didn't want to whip out the nunchuck and the classic controller and like the Wii Motion Plus.
I got you covered.
Oh,
because I feel like all of those, like you can't really talk about all of those unless you talk about the Wii Remote. So I'm just gonna lump it all together
because they all plug in on the bottom.
Yeah. So if I wanted to,
you can plug
in my Super Nintendo Classic controller to the bottom of the Wii Remote because they use the same ports.
Yeah.
But
I got Tatsunoko versus Capcom, the fight stick, and that also just plugs into the bottom of the Wiimote.
So I remember, I think I was 9 when the Wii was announced. It was obviously the biggest deal. Like everyone had to get one. It was so difficult to get.
Oh, I think I know what's coming. Just
reading Nintendo Power and like watching very like early, like 2004 I think was when it was first announced. Just like
the video showing up to the house and said we would like it.
Yeah, but showing like that early video, I'm like, how is this gonna work? Like, how do you hold it like this? Like, how is it gonna work? Like, that doesn't look like anything that I've ever seen before. And this thing introduced motion control to the masses for the first time. And honestly, I think the way that it was done with the infrared bar and everything like that, I think like the Wii Remote, having to do all that stuff, it's still an incredibly comfortable controller. Like you have that little, like the B button is curved so like you can fit your finger under it. The D-pad's really good. There was a speaker inside the controller.
That is really cool.
Like hearing, like it didn't get used that much, but
yeah.
Like,
hey, you can hear the swishing of the sword.
Oh,
and the fishing games.
No More Heroes. They had the calls in that one.
Yep.
Yeah.
Smash Bros. Brawl. Every single character had like a sound. When you selected them in the game.
Yeah, it's so muffled.
Yeah, just the versatility of this controller is like, I think people take it for granted because controllers today do so many things. Like they have gyro and like an accelerometer in it, but like this controller did that before anything.
Yeah.
And I think it's maybe not the best controller nowadays, but just the importance of the Wii Remote, I think, can't be ignored.
Yeah.
On this list. So,
absolutely.
Yeah,
I think.
Agreed.
I think the Wii is the controller, pretty much. Like
basically.
Yeah, and the cool thing about it too is if your sensor bar ever broke, you can just get 2 candles and like space them out properly, and you can still make it work.
I actually did that.
That's great.
Yeah, because the Wii Remote itself is actually a camera. Like the thing on the front of it, it's a camera.
Yeah,
that's how they do it.
Oh, I didn't realize that. That's cool.
Yeah, I think it's.
I will. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I think it's a certain kind of light that you can't see with your eyes, but it like comes through anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, because the the sensor bar is in the middle. Yeah.
I was gonna ask if I could go next because this one segues well into mine.
Yes.
Okay.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Okay. So, well, first off, here's my Zelda Wii Remote.
Nice.
Just to kind of end off that one, I also want to acknowledge Wii Motion Plus built right into these later.
Oh
versions.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
With this
Yeah, yeah.
That's
design.
incredible.
Um,
Like those later Wii remotes are amazing.
And I think that, like, I agree with you. The versatility of the Wii Remote is part of why I think it's such an important controller. But that being said, I do have to mention another amazing controller, which is the Wii Classic Controller Pro.
You just wanted to
And-
flex that.
No, I didn't want. First off, this isn't that flex. Having the gold one, it's an EU exclusive. I don't know how it ended up in an EB Games and whatever. But
I think those may
I
have been
really-
lumped in with GoldenEye for the Wii as well.
maybe. But either way, like I have, I think 3 of these. I genuinely believe that these are some of Nintendo's best controllers. Now the original classic controller I didn't buy at all. I didn't like the fact that it didn't have grips. It was hard to go
Yeah.
from like
Yeah, those were tough.
like shift over from GameCube controller as like an option that was a little bit more hardcore. But as soon as these came out, I loved them to the degree where I used these over GameCube controllers in every game on the Wii. I used these every single time I could on the Wii U over its own Pro controllers because I think that this has a fantastic design and the feel of it is just strong. Like I genuinely think that this kind of controller is like if they released one now that could work with like the Switch and was like Bluetooth and stuff, I would buy one of these. I love the feel of it. It's nice and small. It kind of gives you that kind of classic retro feel like the SNES controller. Like it like kind of has that look and that design and that
It has
that
the same
kind of
shape.
feel, the
Yeah.
buttons. Yeah, the same shape. It's spaced the same way. And I am somebody who's a smaller, like I have smaller fingers, so I like smaller controllers. And I don't know, I've just always found this one to be really tight and really easy to use. And I think like if they modernized it and added, like triggers that are more like modern and stuff, this could be one of the stronger controllers. So I know it's attached to the Wii, so and maybe it doesn't necessarily count as its own. I would still argue it does. But
It's a big asterisk.
it speaks.
I
also
would
to the
argue that is
versatility.
its own thing. Yeah.
Yeah, it is, and it also speaks to the versatility though of the Wii. That like I could have a wired controller like this that just sits on my lap. I loved that. I loved having that. It's just so versatile.
As a retro game enjoyer, I really appreciate the D-pad because for a while there, up to that controller, I thought Nintendo forgot how to make D-pads. Like it was like the N64, it's like so stiff. The GameCube, it's also kind of stiff, and same with the Wiimote. But then they came out with that guy, and I was like, oh shit! Like this is smooth. This is good. Yeah, it's up there. Yeah, for sure.
If I remember correctly, it also has notches in on the sticks as well, so you can actually like lock in place. With
It does.
As well.
Yeah,
And that's one thing that I feel like is missing from a lot of modern stuff.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
agreed.
I do miss the notches. I think they just kind of went away with it because the other systems weren't having them, but I really liked it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
it's
just
so
for the
weird
sake
that
of-
they'd go away. But anyway,
So for the sake of the nominations list, that's the Classic Controller Pro, though, right?
that is the Classic Controller Pro. I never
Okay.
owned the Classic Controller. Yeah, no,
I'm
that's
putting
the
the
one.
Pro down. Yeah. So yeah, it's a different controller. It's got more plastic, so it's gonna be its own thing.
Is that how we're qualifying this? Was based on like the degrees and percentages of plastic?
So Gino, I believe you're next.
Oh gosh. Well, I'm
gonna
gonna
hand you something.
No, I can just reach over here and grab it. I'm gonna argue something very, very safe. I'm gonna step outside of the world of Nintendo, and I'm going to step into the world of the thing that we're all using right now. These aren't mine. These are Mateo's, but
Oh, that's a curveball. Ah!
Controller.
yep.
Mm,
And
It's
of
a con-
course, you have to get the ones that glow and all that stuff too. But this
Make
is
sure you don't mess anything up here.
It's
We
a-
don't
it-
want the stream to just like die.
it's a controller
okay.
designed for Excel. Like.
Hey, I am a beast in the sheets. I will say, I love my Excel.
Yeah.
But yeah, mouse and keyboard, super versatile. This is probably the thing that we learned how to game on, Mateo, before we actually owned our own console.
I don't know about that for me at least, but
Well, for me, I remember my dad we had a Windows 95 and Windows 98 PC, like growing up when I was a kid, and my dad, for whatever reason, found a way to get a bunch of Super Nintendo and arcade games like installed on those systems. So like we would play like Galaga, Bubble Bubble, Dig Dug, Tetris, and like even a Legend of Zelda.
Link to the Past was the first one.
I didn't know it was a Zelda game. It was like, oh, okay. So
Just
I'm
a
using
fun
like
game.
the arrow keys and like 0 and dot. Enter was pause. Things like that.
It was pretty terrible.
It was, but we also had those like growing up as kids, of course, like the humongous entertainment, like point and click adventure games.
Yes.
Yeah.
Coaster Tycoon, whatever they threw in the cereal box. But more recently for me, World of Warcraft, all of my MMOs, I'm doing mouse and keyboard for those. I dabbled with it in shooters. I'm terrible at first-person shooters with mouse and keyboard, but I realize that's like the only way to do it for a lot of people.
So we're counting this as a combo, right, with like the mouse and the keyboard, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
M and K.
Yeah, I definitely think RTSs, first-person shooters, like they really excel on that system. You have all the buttons for all the shortcuts in RTSs and in MMOs also. I remember playing tons of Maple Story back in the day. Rayman, of all things, I played on there. There was a PC port. Age of Empires 2 is like one of my favorites.
Oh, yeah. Age of Empires, that's a good one.
Yeah.
I've spent many hours in Civilization series over the time. But yeah, you can't have one of these lists without the PC representation with mouse and keyboard, I feel.
All right, we're gonna swing back to Phil now.
Okay.
His second nomination.
Now, do I go weird pick to match, or should I go modern?
I would argue that keyboard and mouse is not weird.
Well, it's a curveball. It's a curveball.
Yes.
Okay. I'll keep the curveball. I'll do that later. I have an idea for a curveball, but I'm gonna go pretty important for me personally. But this one here, the third company comes in, takes out Sega with the PlayStation DualShock. Now, right off the bat, when the PlayStation first came out, not a lot of people remember, but it just had that regular controller with no analog sticks, and it was awful. The D-pad was super stiff, the buttons were super stiff. It was basically a Super Nintendo with handles. But then they came out with the DualShock, and then this one's actually the DualShock 2 for the PlayStation 2, the most popular console of all time. And they really cemented dual analog stick controls, back then. The PlayStation 2 version actually has weighted buttons. A lot of people don't realize this. The amount you press down these face buttons, some games like Gran Turismo, Grand Theft Auto, Metal Gear Solid 2, Silent Hill 2, they actually do a light press and then like a heavy press and stuff like that. So that's pretty cool. You got all these buttons on the back. Like Sony was like, whatever, let's just throw more buttons on there. So they got 2 shoulder pad buttons now, 2 analog sticks. I don't even know what they're going to do. They didn't even know what they were going to do with 2 analog sticks. They didn't understand that people would want to move the other camera at the time. Because third-person games, it's like, why would you want to move the camera with an analog stick? They didn't even understand. That became standard, even later. And then the name, the DualShock, the actual big, the big rumble and the small rumble, so you get all that different kinds of weight with the controller. So it's really, multifaceted, all the different things they revolutionized with this, and even modern stuff is pretty close. Analog stick in different places and stuff, but still a lot like this. Even Sony used this the next gen after this. 3 gens, the same kind of controller. So I think it's...
back to that next gen one here.
Oh, God.
Which is the DualShock 3, which, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah.
Which is really, the honest, and I'll let you finish, but, there's a reason that this is one of the only controllers that was reused almost, exactly the same. Almost nothing changed, and realistically, this is a very, very, very strong controller. I think in the PS3 generation, this controller started to, near the tail end, become a little bit outdated because gaming was changing, and that's why maybe we start to get shifts, but I still think like PS3 was my favorite, my first Sony gen, and I loved this controller. I think this controller is really strong. And again, I will acknowledge I have small fingers, I have small hands, so I like tiny controllers.
Yeah.
So these guys are my favorite because everything is so tight,
Yeah.
and so easy to use. So you can count that as my second nomination.
All right, yeah.
Mateo, and I just jumped in because it was an easy second.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. And
Yeah.
Board off.
hey, you gotta love tilt controls, right? Gotta love the tilt controls. Yeah. Go.
I will say that one of the things that the DualShock 3 did really well was promoted that the first real sense of like a truly wireless controller in that for that generation. The 360 did it also with the Xbox 360 controller. The DualShock 3. I want to
I
say
point out that the 360 came out before the PS.
I know it did, but I know. The only issue that I have with the DualShock 3 is I feel like
I don't have one.
okay, I have one, and I felt like if I was holding it in my hands, if I just tilted my hands slightly, I would literally snap it in half. Mine was so poor quality that it soured that controller for the entire generation for me. I felt like if I just did this, it would snap like.
But remember when we got a
But
PS3,
did it
Gino,
snap?
like
Did you do that? And did
no,
I felt it creaking and cracking,
Yeah.
and I'm like, I gotta be
Are-
careful.
are you-
Like,
are you
I
sure?
have massive hands.
Are you sure it was an official one? Because there's actually more fake PS3 controllers than real
It
ones.
was in. I bought it with the God of War.
Okay.
multi-pack,
It was like a
so the one
bundle.
with it was
Okay.
the.
Okay.
That's
It
what
was,
I got.
it was the bundle.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Which
Or
they
it
had a
was
lot of.
no, it was the infamous one. It
we
was
had
the
Infamous,
Yeah.
we had Ratchet and Clank, we had
Yeah.
like
God
4
of
different
War.
PS3
Yeah,
controllers.
like I got a PS3 at the end of the generation, and I got a bunch of those like game and controller things, and I'm like, this is great.
I think your issue though with the PS3,
my hands are
also-
big.
besides that, is also that was you
Yeah.
were coming to that system after playing the 360, after playing the Wii, and like the N64, and like all the GameCube, like all these.
That was the third set of buttons that I had to remember.
Yeah, and I feel like
that was the third X you had to figure out in a different spot.
Yeah.
yeah, that's
Yeah,
true. The X
so-
on the bottom, that means yes. I feel like it's a good segue for Mateo.
It is because
Oh, take the thing out of it.
what thing? Oh no, I'm not doing that one. I'm not
Oh.
doing that one. I'll let you.
Oh, yes.
Okay, talk about that. I'm just gonna sneakily hand it around back so Gino can have it and just put it on his lap for when it's his turn.
Yep.
But I'm gonna be boring, and I'm going to talk about my first real controller of all time. I'm gonna talk about
A controller of all time.
the Nintendo 64 controller, the Trident.
Oh.
All hail the
I'm
Titans.
using the for the sake of this discussion, I'm using the NSO N64 controller. I didn't want to bring one with all the cords and whatever.
I knew you'd
But-
have it, so I never will.
This, I feel like if you didn't grow up during the era that this controller was out and like the N64 was Nintendo's main system, I feel like you don't have the same appreciation.
Yeah.
I know like a lot of people try to hold it like this. Our cousin, who grew up in the NES era and played a lot of arcade games, like would control it with his finger, like the control stick like this. It was like really weird. But this was the first like analog stick ever on a mainstream controller, and it does have all the notches on there. The N64 revolutionized 3D games, and the controller, I think it.
Three
This
sticks
was a
for
good
3D.
first. It was a good first attempt. The C buttons were really good. Like, the L and R's here on this controller. Nintendo added a ZR button up here, and you could put in memory cards in this controller on the
Rumble
original
pack.
one. The Rumble pack, like that was the first time Rumble's ever been added to a controller, and it just felt really good, like really high quality. And I feel most Nintendo controllers do.
Yeah.
People like to complain about the D-pad on this, but when do you use a D-pad on the N64?
Never.
Like,
That's
um,
my argument. Pokemon Stadium and like Kirby 64.
Yeah.
those
Yeah.
two, and then what's that treasure one where you're the girl that blasts cyber
Oh, Mischief Makers.
Mischief Makers? Yeah, that's like the
Yeah.
only other one I can think of. Maybe Dr. Mario.
And it's just like it's
Maybe.
also just an iconic design for a controller too.
We need to go back to like experimental designs and stuff.
I think
feel like a lot of stuff is too safe.
Yeah,
I don't know about that.
No, I think
I think so.
It's become refined. It's an art, but
Yeah.
there's something to appreciate about that controller because it was like the jump into like 3D, and it was so big, and it felt so like weird and strange and different, just like the gen kind of was. And
Yeah.
I gotta be honest, what defines the N64 is the fact that it's 4-player multiplayer. It was stacked on
Yeah.
multiplayer, and
4 of
there
these,
ain't
yeah.
no controller that is better to throw in a rage at your cousin than the N64 controller.
You got 3 prongs right here that you can hit them with.
Yes.
I do have to
An
say,
N64 controller to the throat.
Oh no.
this
Or just even like playing Mario Party, just like destroying your
Yeah.
palms on the
Yeah.
stick.
The
thi-
Oh,
thing is, I
God.
felt confident
There's a lot of
whacking,
nostalgia.
whacking somebody with it without it breaking. It's so built. You know, I wouldn't do that with my PlayStation 5 controller. That thing's gonna.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
this analog
Not
stick,
that I will whack somebody. I'm an adult now. I'm not a 5.
Yeah.
this analog
Throw it
stick
at
is
the
actually superior in some ways than to more. It has this crazy sensitivity. It has a huge range.
Yeah.
And it's actually been a problem with modern systems like emulating this analog stick. You can't quite get the same amount of sensitivity on
Yeah.
Mario 64
Yeah.
and stuff. Yeah, so it's pretty cool. It does, the way they made it though, it grinds down and it gets loose and shit.
Yeah.
which isn't
The,
great.
the
but-
plastic just like disintegrates over time.
yeah.
But the cool thing with this controller is that the insides of it are essentially exactly the same as the regular N64 controller.
You can swap the buttons out.
So like
Big.
even the control stick, like you could put this in a normal N64 controller. Even like if you guys have seen like Nintendo stores in Japan have like those controller keychains.
Adriano has one.
Those buttons on those controller keychains, including the Nintendo 64 control stick, are the actual components. So like you can put those on as replacement buttons and control sticks. So like that's such a cool thing.
Yeah,
That's a
when
little
I don't know
trivia
how
there.
new it was, but when I was in Japan and I went to the store near Shibuya, it was just in the corner of the store, like a corner, and there was just this line that's going up and then back just to go to this machine and turn it. So it's pretty cool.
I will say one of the things I'll always appreciate about the N64 controller, and I understand why modern controllers don't rely as heavily on this, but I love color coding buttons.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
I love the idea of like the buttons have this distinct color, and you know when you see that button show up in like Mario Party or in a game, like, oh, that's the A button, that's the B button.
Yeah,
And
the
again,
blue
I know
one.
why it deviated from that, but it's like I did
Not-
love that time. Like it was so unique.
yeah.
Not only the colored buttons, but the different color of controller too.
Yep.
This controller had like over a dozen different variants.
And the transparent
Yeah,
variants
the
as well.
fantastic ones. Like
Oh yeah, I have a
I
purple
miss-
one.
I miss those days.
Yeah.
I miss those days.
Yeah,
Yeah, the clear controllers are cool.
Fun fact: the Super Famicom actually has colored buttons, but we got purple for some reason.
Yeah.
I really
Yeah,
liked the
everyone
colored
else
ones
got-
that they have. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I always wondered because you play Super Mario World, you get to the bonus world, and it has the symbol, right? And it's like these 4 colored things, and I'm like, what is that?
Yeah,
I don't
what's
get
that?
that. It's actually the buttons in Famicom. I don't know why they changed it, but yeah. Anyway.
All right, Gino. Ooh. Well, continuing the trend of colored buttons and everything, I will say that the next one here is also
Ooh.
a classic. The Xbox
Yeah.
360 controller.
This guy right
This
here.
one here. This was our Xbox 360 controller.
That was for the Elite.
For the Elite console. We had it in original Xbox 360. We got it at Costco. It broke, and then by then the price had come down. So Costco's old warranty was just absolutely amazing. You could buy something
Still is.
and return it and whatever they. So I exchanged my old Xbox for an Xbox Elite with Modern Warfare 2, an extra controller, and they gave me $100 back.
Yeah.
So this was that controller, and it's super awesome. And with the extra $100, I bought the one thing that made every Xbox 360 controller absolutely perfect.
The chat pad.
The chat pad. So I
Oh,
control
I love
people
the
in
chat
text
pad.
messages.
Oh,
Oh,
I still
I
use
have
it,
one of
you know.
those.
I still use it.
And the best thing about it is, because I have big hands, this made it so easy to rest my extra fingers, and it just made a nice full experience. Playing Halo, Modern Warfare 2, even like BioShock and all those types of games.
All you collectors out there, these chat pads, look how much they cost now.
Oh, seriously?
Market.
I have
Yeah,
one
they're
somewhere
expensive.
around here.
They're really expensive.
Yep.
How many messages I sent to trolls and noobs telling them how I owned them and other various things that I would have done.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was so fun just to like shoot off like 6 or 7 messages in a row while they just say no or yes, because they're doing up, 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 left, 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 A, left, 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 down, 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 A.
Yes. The other really cool thing, like we'll lump this in with this controller too, is the wired one that could be used on PC.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
The wired Xbox 360 controllers are awesome.
Yeah.
And and the cool thing with this controller
Multi-purpose.
is, yeah, they ran on batteries, but if you had the play and charge kit, you had a rechargeable controller.
Yeah.
And that's something that Xbox has always done since the 360 era, is had the option for batteries and the option for chargers. And I really appreciate that.
I also
Yeah,
do really appreciate that. I wish they would actually include the chargeable pack with the controller, like, you know.
Yeah.
But it's still amazing that you can just put AA batteries in this. Like, my PS3 controllers are dead. Like, they're just dead. I need to get new batteries for them. This thing, and just put AA's, good to go. Go play 360.
Yeah.
I think
And
this
the
is a
Bluetooth
later.
Still works.
I think this is a later
Yeah.
one because I actually have the
yours-
black analog sticks and stuff.
Yeah, that may have been
And
the
then
Slim.
also, there's a revision of the controller that has a different type of D-pad that if you twist it, it becomes like,
across.
it becomes like a more traditional D-pad.
Yeah, we have. It's the silver one. that
I
we
should have brought that one. I had it in the other room. I should have brought
But
that
this
too.
is the OG.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's my choice. Xbox 360 controller. It still works on modern hardware because it's just Bluetooth and you can plug it in with a USB. I still really like the feel of this one. Even like having the buttons slightly raised up on it, it's not flush with the console. Like if I do this, right, it actually has like this kind of like M shape, and it's somewhere for your fingers to go.
It's very ergonomic.
Yes,
Yeah.
I
I-
still rather enjoy this.
You know, it's hard to talk about this controller without talking about Halo. And
Yep.
I think they really built these analog sticks with first-person shooters in mind because they're like kind of concave instead of the round that you get on the PlayStation. You can kind of really get a grip on there. They're a little stiffer too, so and they start stiff from the beginning. So you get a little bit more like give and control, and you have your thumb like in the analog stick. And these triggers are great. That's the one thing I don't like about the PS3 controller. The triggers felt kind of like they didn't come back, and they didn't have like that groove. Well, these triggers are like very good. They made it shorter too. Like these ones aren't too bad too, the original Xbox ones, but they're a little too long, and they don't feel quite as good. They really refined it on this guy. This is like, this is great.
It even allowed me to like even go into like crab claw mode.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Stuff, yeah.
The Dark Souls
Yeah.
claw. You'd like run while you're like moving the camera. Yeah.
Yeah. Honestly, I
haven't held one of these in forever.
Yeah, and it feels so good. And I think the 360 was also the first controller where you can actually like press the sticks in as a button as well. That's one of the innovations that they added for that.
I'm not 100% sure. Maybe Phil would know better.
Oh, what's exactly? Like you can press the.
Oh, like the L2 and like the L1 and L2.
Oh no, that was
Pressing
on
in
the
stick as an input.
the DualShock had that. The
L2 or the one?
I think on well, definitely PS2. I don't know if the PS1 one had it, but I know the PS2 had it because when I was a kid, there was games that asked for it, and I was very confused. I'm like, what's a R3? I don't understand. You had to like click the stick in.
Yeah.
I think it might have been Gran Turismo or something like that when I first encountered it.
Yeah, like we weren't a PS2 household.
Yeah.
We had other controllers. But yeah, that's one thing that like even with like certain PlayStation controllers to this day is that they have like the concave or the concave or convex, the one that where like the buttons slip out. My thumbs would always fall out.
You mean these
Yeah,
buttons?
they were like round. The round was like up instead of dipping in like a bowl. It was like a ball on top.
Yeah,
And
the
the thumb
analog
would
stick.
always slip off.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
analog stick would always slip off.
Yeah, it's
That's
definitely
why I
like better for like pushing against like the edge.
Yeah.
For sure. Like they weren't really thinking specifically about first person shooters and like the sensitivity. It's good. You can use. I played Call of Duty on a PS3 before.
Yeah.
It's fine. It works. But I think
Yeah.
the 360 controller is better for first person for sure.
All right, Phil. Back to you
Okay.
for your next one.
Okay, let's go weird, shall we? Okay. How should I do this? I say
Just whip it out. Just whip it out.
Oh, I know where he's going.
Oh, don't drop anything.
Arcade.
Yeah. Yep.
Joystick.
Stick?
Buttons. Just arcade buttons, Donkey Kong, Street Fighter. They're all pretty much a combination of this. Some button layout and a joystick like
Oh, the
this.
sound.
And you get
The sound.
the actuation. This was the perfect for decades. Like Galaga, like all the way back to like the 70s. You just had this. And you had so much control. Your whole wrist is the analog, is the D-pad. So you just push it to the left, push it to the right, up, down. You can hold it like this, under like this, and the buttons. It's so intuitive. It's so easy. Everyone knows how to press buttons. Before people played video games, the first video games they ever saw, it was like this. And it's like, move, buttons. And it's great. And there's so many amazing experiences. Anything 2D is fantastic in this. Metal Slug. You can play Mario, any Mario with this. It's great. I hook it up to emulators sometimes and play whatever. And also, you have so much access to so many buttons. You just put more buttons down, and you can get all of them. Kind of like a keyboard. You just all the different buttons, different shortcuts, everything like that.
Buttons on buttons on
Yeah,
buttons.
it's so satisfying.
Are those also buttons on the back?
Yeah, there's buttons on the back here. Start, select,
Oh
home
my
button.
God.
Yeah, all that right there. There's some softness on the back here, so you can put it like right on here. It's very heavy. This one's made out of metal, but yeah, these are Sanwa, which is pretty much standard for Japanese arcade, like the candy cabs and stuff like that. But like, I have so much nostalgia for arcade controllers. Street Fighter when you're like at the bowling alley or anything like that. Playing.
For us, it was House of the Dead.
Yes.
Yeah. So this
That
is
was
kind of
fun with
difficult.
buttons.
This is a weird one because it's not any specific. It's kind of like you can mix and match, but like this style of controlling,
Yeah.
yeah.
I think I've even seen the Dragon Quest arcade game that has an actual physical sword.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We were at a video game shop actually with Phil, and they had one there, and it was really cool.
That was the Wii version.
Yeah, and it plugged into the Wii remote.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think it needed extra batteries though because it was just so big.
Yeah, but
All right.
Okay.
I don't know. I was gonna move on to my nomination, but if you have anything else to add.
Oh, I was just gonna say that
Oh,
for
we'll skip the order last time.
the arcade,
The order last time.
specifically Street Fighter, the arcade started the button race, I think, because it was fine having 3 or 4 or whatever, and then suddenly Street Fighter hits with 6 buttons, and it's like, oh, we got to make special Hori controllers, we got to add buttons here, add buttons there, Sega Saturn came standard with 6 buttons on the front there, just for fighting games.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
Virtual Fighter.
So yeah, you feel that. Anyway, next one.
So I think this is the most modern controller I have on my list. In it, I think this is definitely up there as like this actually might be my number 1. I got the Switch 2 Pro controller. This is the slickest, I think, best controller Nintendo has ever made. If you have never felt one before, see if your local store has a demo and just like feel the way the control sticks move.
It's
Yes.
like a cloud.
Yeah, it's like I've never experienced like this smooth of a control stick before. It is honestly like the original Switch 1 Pro controller was an excellent controller. But the
Yeah.
Switch 2
I got
Pro
one,
controller,
Yeah, I got one right here.
it upgraded. I got
They're
one.
very, very similar looking, actually.
I have air.
The Switch 2, I think, improved it on every single way.
You can't go back to this after
The
feeling
battery life is just as good as the Switch 1 Pro controller.
that. Like 90 hours.
They added back paddles. I think this is the first time out of the big three, Nintendo, PlayStation, and Xbox, where a non-premium version of the controller had back paddles right out of the box.
Yeah.
Like, this is just a standard Switch 2 Pro controller. There's no, like, Switch 2 Pro controller Elite that has back paddles. But they added them here, which is a great feature. I love just the premium feel of it. Like, there's no crevices and, like, cracks where, like, gunk can really build up in here like the original Switch 1 Pro controller could. And it's just, like, the buttons feel... It might just be me, but, like, the buttons feel...
They do feel better.
better. It's just
better.
the finish on this is also
It's a nice matte finish.
yeah. It's really cool how it's assembled. How like this is just like one piece that comes off,
No screws.
and that might be more difficult to repair it for that reason. But you know,
Did this kind of physical headphone jack?
yes, the headphone jack
Yeah.
and the controller too is a first for Nintendo on a controller. This is honestly my go-to way to play
The
games
C button.
on the Switch 2. Like I can't go play any other like third-party controller I have. Like this one is the best one, and just like for the battery life alone, it's like 80-hour battery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just like how can it do it? Like this
The one I will say, my only gripe with the Switch 2 Pro controller is that you can't just Bluetooth it to your PC. You
I
can't.
mean,
you can't.
yeah,
do that
you-
for whatever reason.
I think they're still working on it. You can cable it
There's a
now.
dongle or
Yeah.
something.
There's a
Okay.
dongle, and you can cable
Yeah,
it. I think
yeah.
Steam has beta support or something like that. But yeah, I
They need
also reiterate that this plastic, it's like I don't know, it's soft, like a blanket, but it's
Yeah.
plastic. I
Yeah.
don't understand how they did it. It feels so good. Yeah.
It's crazy because we can talk about this all day about how different this controller is from the Switch 1. I have 4 Switch 1 controllers. I love the Switch 1 controller. Switch 1 controller is my favorite controller to the degree where I was like, I don't need a Switch 2 controller, and I didn't buy one. And then Mateo
We
Gino
did.
bought me one for my birthday. And I was like, oh great, I can turn on my Switch without getting up off the couch now. Great. The only
Yeah.
function it has. I have not touched a Switch 1 controller since I got this, and not because it turns on my thing from the couch. You can't describe, the feeling is so different.
yeah.
Just like it
Yeah.
feels
Yeah.
so good in
They-
your hands.
It's just better.
I saw a video about how they did the analog sticks, and it's really interesting. This piece of plastic, like this back guard here, that's actually the part that contacts, not the edge. It doesn't actually contact this edge. It contacts like a soft ring on the inside with this bottom piece, and that's how they make it feel like it's colliding, like around. It's so genius. It's crazy. I have no idea how they came up with that.
Like I'm not gonna nominate the Switch 1 Pro controller, but one thing I do like about it is it probably won't pick up well on the camera, but it is slightly transparent, so like you can see through the controller slightly.
Mhm.
I don't know if all the variants of this controller do that or have that as well, that same type of plastic, but I just love how I love see-through
do.
controllers. That's
Yeah.
just
They have the
something I
same.
really love.
The,
This
the
one-
Monster Hunter
this
one does. Yeah, this one you can see
Yeah, so
through.
does the Zelda, and so does the Smash, because I have all those ones.
Yeah, there's
Yeah, just
They're
we're,
all.
we're still so
the
early.
D-pad is so good on this too. Like,
Yeah.
it's basically the same as it feels the same as the Switch one.
I
But
s-
just like the plastic is different. Just
I
As
will
a-
say the D-pad on this one sometimes will pick up the wrong input if my thumb is in the wrong spot. That's the only thing I have with it. But the control stick is absolutely amazing.
Yeah, I actually found over this is an interesting thing as a D-pad main, when I play old games. The original Pro controller for the Switch, it actually had a pretty low pivot in the middle. So you would hit like side things pretty eventually, like over time. Like if you press back and forth, you'll hit like an up and down. Over the gen, every version they made got a little better, and then near the end, it was like almost perfect. And then they raised it even more on this. So for me personally, this D-pad on the Switch 2 controller is perfect. I love it.
Maybe it's just mine then.
All right.
Wait, no. So we've messed up the order. Now who goes?
No, we're reverting back to the original.
Yes, we're back.
Yes.
So
Jules,
there's many wacky controllers I could have brought in that I've owned over time. I owned the Zapper and the Bongos and
all
the Cabo de Amigo maracas.
Oh.
And like music controllers are also intuitive, and shout out to those ones. I don't actually own any of them anymore to show you.
Those are also going up in price.
The Guitar Hero guitars, yeah.
Yep.
Yes, I know. But in celebration of all those wacky, innovative, crazy controllers, I present to you the most basic controller of all. The PS5
It's actually the DualSense 1.
DualSense 1. DualShock 4 was a massive downgrade. It was so
like control. Yep.
I can't stress how much the DualShock 4 sucked. And I hope nobody has it here, but I doubt anybody has it here.
I am not going to nominate it, but I actually like that controller. It's on the very bottom of my my 12 games that I had listed, but I don't hate that controller. Yeah, I was using that one for Destiny for a long time, and then I switched over to this one.
It was such a downgrade because the buttons were, in my opinion, very cheap. They were easy to stick. The battery life was so bad because of how much the light, pad.
It had the worst battery life.
It was just there was just something about it that I just like. I was like, yeah, I'll play it. But what I did love about it is that I had, the Spider-Man one, which I loved, and that was the hardest thing for me when I moved on to PlayStation 5. However, the DualSense I actually do think is one of the most, while it's basic, impressive controllers.
Yeah.
The amount of functions that it has, the pure innovation of the what do they call it? The way the triggers work. The
haptic
feedback. The fact that I still can't get over how satisfying it feels when I'm playing a game and to emulate the shot of a gun or the feel of the weight of a sword, it will create that pressure. I was so impressed when I played Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart of how different they could make every weapon in the game feel just based on how the controller has that feedback. And then you have the what do they call it?
HD Rumble
or HD Rumble. Again, all these things, if you played Astrobot or Ratchet
Demon
and Clank,
Souls also.
Really feel these things. Demon Souls, a lot of those early games really utilize this. And honestly, I think this is a controller with untapped potential. I think it is a stronger controller than the games that are on the system lend itself to. But I love the feel of the buttons. I love the look of the controller, and I especially love the look of my custom controller made actually by Phil, who took apart my white controller and my red controller and my spliced them together to make my kind of Spider-Man-esque controller for this game, or for this system. But it's I don't know. I just the only thing that I'll always feel low on with these controllers is their D-pads. But ultimately, I do think it's a very strong controller.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I fixed what Gino was talking about
too.
Oh yeah, I fixed that. They added the indent. It's kind of like a mix. Yeah. So I think that's improvement. They honestly they wouldn't admit it, but I think they took a lot of inspiration from another friend because you also look at this curve. You look at this curve here. And they went away from the kind of just straight thing, and we got the curve going. And it's definitely got more of that flat into the flat face kind of thing.
It feels a lot heavier, so you feel like it's a higher quality controller. It is a higher quality piece of hardware also.
Yeah, it feels
I like
great.
it because for someone with massive hands, my fingers don't touch. and that is so annoying when I'm playing. And they don't touch anymore, and it's great.
Yeah.
This was actually my controller that I used for all of Destiny 2 when I still gave a shit about that series.
Yeah, they definitely spread those sticks a little farther apart. Yeah.
It's more spread apart.
Yeah.
I used to be a PlayStation hater, but when the PS5 came out, I believe Joe got it and Jules got it before Gino and I did. And Joe's like, I asked him how it was. It's like, Mateo, you got to try the controller. And obviously it came out during the pandemic. We couldn't see each other. Gino and I were able to get a PS5 on Amazon. I opened it, and the second I played Astrobot, and you felt like all the Astrobots fall into the controller, and like it felt like the controller was filling up with stuff. I'm like, well, I guess I am keeping the PS5 because that was an incredible experience.
Yeah.
And like, it's a real shame though that like, as the generation goes on, I feel like even Nintendo's the HD Rumble, especially on the Switch and the Switch 2, are definitely gonna be like that. It's the people that are making the games, the developers, use the controller special features less and less.
Yeah.
And I feel like if any controller's features were to be they should be used for the entirety of the generation, it's this one. And like Jules, I agree with you. Like it's just definitely untapped. Like when I played Horizon Forbidden West, and I think Zero Dawn also had it as well. But like when you got your bow and arrow, and you like notch the arrow into the bow,
you
like
could feel it.
Feel the pressure of the bowstring, and then it would just go away once you launch the arrow, and that felt so satisfying in that game.
One of my favorites.
It also has a speaker.
One of my favorites.
That's what I felt in Spider-Man 2.
Yeah.
Spider-Man 2 was like that when you're like web slinging and you feel kind of like the feedback of like as the web releases from the shooter mechanism. It's so cool.
Yeah,
so cool.
My favorite is when it's a trigger, because just like a real gun trigger, you have that loose area, and then when it actually gets to the point where it's going to actuate, that's when you get the pressure. So you almost feel like you got that two-parter. It's really nice.
Yeah, I just like, we'll get into it when we deliberate, but battery.
Nah.
PlayStation got to figure out the batteries a little bit.
Oh, but we need LEDs.
It's a little better. It's better.
It's better than the 4, but it's still
it's nothing
really bad
like this
compared to the other two.
I know
modern controllers.
For the amount of things in it,
Yeah.
I think it's forgivable.
Yeah.
And it does charge quick. I will say though that this button, the one that starts the controller, needs to be a real button. The amount of times I accidentally turn on my PlayStation because I barely graze.
I just did it right now.
Literally just turned on the PlayStation in the other room.
Oh god,
Yeah.
starting up the jet engine.
Yeah. I wish this was used more too, the touchpad. I mean, they could do a lot with that.
Yeah.
They just don't.
Yeah.
I was also impressed by the early games. I thought Demon Souls, when you like cut something, you could feel it from this side down to where your end of your slice is. It's like the whole thing, through both sides of the controller. It's absolutely amazing.
So, Gino, I believe it's your turn for your next nomination.
Do I go another funky pick? You know, Mateo, I'd like to give it to you because before I talk about mine, another controller has to come up first.
But I'm choosing to I'm strategically not talking about it because I feel like someone else will.
I can talk about that one because I know what you're talking about.
I think,
and it's the last one I have.
I still haven't picked my favorite, so
a double feature. And maybe we have the same one. Do we have the same one, Phil? You think?
Okay, show them at the same time.
Oh, I don't know about that. It might mess things up.
Well, I just went. So.
Okay.
Or
I went
pass
up
to
before
Phil.
that.
Phil
Me?
next in the order.
Do we want? Okay.
Because I only have one left, and it's a weird one.
It's a weird one. Okay. Well, there's. I think there's two ones that need to be in here that we haven't done yet. I don't know if I should leave. Okay, I'm just gonna go for it. The Xbox Series controller. This is my daily.
Mateo had it also. Lower. There you
It looks the same as the Xbox One X. It does not feel the same as the Xbox One X. This D-pad, this clicky D-pad. Oh, I love
So
this
good.
clicky D-pad. It's so good. Oh,
And it doesn't have that like indent. At the
yeah.
top of it either.
It is Xbox refined. It is perfection. I love these triggers. They're even better than the 360 triggers. These buttons they feel so clicky. The grips, they added like these grips at some point, I think just for the series, and it's
The series,
so
yeah,
grippy.
They also added grips. They added grips on the triggers and the bumpers, and it's like a seamless grip that goes from trigger to bumper.
And you still got, the batteries right here. It's great. You can just
Microsoft
swap them out
knows
whenever
how to
you
make a
want.
controller.
It's got USB-C. I mean, all the modern ones do, but yeah, I just really appreciate it. They even still have a sync button, which the other controller or the PS this one does not.
Headphone jack.
So yeah. I absolutely love this thing. I mean, it's not much more to talk about other than the 360 controller. It's just better in every way. I just love this thing so much.
It's got some goo.
Yeah. And like I really like the Xbox One controller. But like with the Switch One Pro controller, I feel like the successor kind of just makes this irrelevant.
Yeah.
I think,
but like the improvements to the D-pad, the rumble is actually significantly better on the Series X controller compared to the Xbox One controller. But even though this is one of my favorite controllers of all time, it has made me want that. Like, I feel like the rumble on the Xbox controller though still is definitely like leagues below the Switch 2 controller and the DualSense, and I really want Microsoft to make a controller with similar vibration. But yeah, this is like, I think the best control sticks or triggers of all time are on these, even though it's not the same type of trigger as the DualSense. For a standard controller, I think like these are the most responsive and most comfortable, and I feel like the texturing does definitely help that. I do like the feel of all the face buttons on here. This is the Xbox 20th anniversary controller, and it is, you can see it's somewhat transparent, and it's got like the Xbox green on the back as well. This is my go-to controller.
That's your daily user.
so.
That's your
Yes,
that's your main one.
And they still, if you can put it
Headphone jack.
it's got a headphone jack, but also you can put a chat pad at the bottom here if you want. Yep. They did make chat pads for these controllers. It's just like the most comfortable controller to hold, in my opinion, aside from the Switch 2 Pro controller. But yeah, just like the innovation and like just the plastic that they used on this. Like, look how glossy the Xbox One controller is. Like, the extra gloss up here for no reason.
Yeah.
The D-pad was glossy for some reason. And this was a fingerprint magnet. And this controller on the standard one is a matte plastic, so it's so much better.
I really appreciate this. Is a little separate from the controller, but Microsoft really supported X input on PC, and so this guy can go back really far, get all the buttons and everything in like most PC games. I like that they sell a dongle for the system with a sync button. So you can just use it like a console. You just pop it in, and you can take it anywhere you want. It works on pretty much everything. It's great. The
Elite controller was also really good.
Yeah.
But I felt like they did like some of the quality controls on them. Like the quality control on it was like really bad for certain things. Like the glue would come undone. And,
on these back like, I don't know, the grips.
Yeah, the
These
standard
controllers,
is better.
the standard one doesn't have the issue, but the Elite controller, 1 and 2 both had that issue.
Yeah.
And then mine, for whatever reason, like chipped, and a bit of the rubber plastic is like coming off. So
they got to do away with that. Unless they can do it right.
I'm just gonna talk one little bit about this D-pad here. They're the only people that are doing the round disc D-pad these days, and I love how smooth it is for like, when you're playing like Street Fighter, you do those cross motions. You're always getting that full rotation. It was more of a thing for like Sega. So like you had like for the Sega Saturn, you have this round disc, and I loved that feel, especially for 2D games. And the Genesis also had like the round disc. But then after that, it just kind of went away. And then Xbox just decided to make it their thing, and I'm so for it. I love it so much.
Phil, I have to send you the video, but I saw a really cool thing where basically people were saying or put the connection, because I see another thing that you have on your desk there.
Oh.
That was the predecessor to the controller that Microsoft created today and is using today.
Yeah. Well, if we want more, I can talk about this guy too. But yeah, Series X. Maybe not the most exciting for new features, but it is refined, in my opinion.
Yeah, that is I would say the GOAT.
Yeah.
So, are you going to talk about yours now, Gino, or should I talk about mine? Because I'm not talking about the one that you think I'm going to talk about. Mine is a little bit off the wall, and I think everyone would probably agree with it.
The
though.
one
Joel,
I think
you can go.
Gino needs me to talk about, I
Yeah.
can talk about, because that's the last one I have.
Okay.
Which is
Yeah.
the tried and true GameCube.
Yep.
That's the other one I was thinking
Another
of.
one.
Of course,
All hail
it's
the
like,
GameCube.
and this is the Switch to
NSO one, yeah.
NSO one.
Wavebird.
Wavebird, nice.
Wavebird's there. You know, I will be the first to say, like, I love the GameCube, and I think I outgrew the GameCube controller earlier than most. In terms of like, I loved it, and then I kind of like moved on, like I said, to the Wii Pro and was okay with that. However, this is a solid controller, and like I understand why so many people still stick with it. I understand why Nintendo, this is one of the only controllers they have pretty much supported at this point, literally every single generation since it came out.
Yeah,
Like you've been able to use a version of the GameCube controller on literally every single controller, and I know a lot of it is because it is very, very synonymous with Smash Bros.
Yeah.
At this point, like it's just become the controller for Smash Bros. But the design itself is just so strong, right? Like it has those colored buttons, like I said,
Which is great.
Or that I love. I actually do really like how it centers the A button, especially for the games in that generation that use the A button so heavily. And you know, Nintendo A button is just typically your primary button. I love how it brought back the X and Y that were, you know, not on the N64. I love the second.
yes. The control stick.
Like it's not, you know, it's not a regular stick, but I love the fact that it's blending that like C stick, like the C pad concept and making it into a stick. You know, the D pad isn't much, but you know, it was also at a time where 2D game was really, really fading out. But at the same time, what you were saying before, Phil, with like the N64, you have like the joysticks have like the little
the notches are amazing.
pieces there, so I could play this, like I could play a 2D platformer with this and not worry about kind of being locked in a weird like between input, because you know what direction you're going in. And then of course the revolutionary triggers, which are so
Nintendo, please bring those back.
Really good for Flood in but I think it was an issue, right? When you played the new release of Sunshine, you didn't have the same Flood control.
Yeah, because the Flood was either on or off. There wasn't that gradual pressure.
This
I love the gradual pressure as like a concept, so it's really, really good.
I do, so like this isn't the best for like first person shooters and stuff like that, but I feel like the idea was because it's just kind of a nub that they really thought you would be flicking it. You know, you'd be like flicking the camera, flicking for different like inputs and things like that. And for that, it feels very satisfying to just like whack to the side. And I think that's another reason why it's so synonymous with Smash Brothers. You know, with your tilts, and then also these little notches are like necessary. Well, they're like expected for Smash Brothers. So yeah.
The only thing I wish it had, it does have it on this controller technically, is just like a ZL button. You have the Z button. It's only supposed to be, it's only here above the R button.
Yeah.
But on the basic GameCube controller, there's no other bumper above the L button. So, But other than that, like, I think this is pretty close to perfect when it comes to just the feel of the controller. Like, this controller is so comfortable, even to this day.
There's a reason why they've been making it for 25 years.
Yes.
Yeah.
Besides Smash Bros.
Because of Melee fans.
Yeah, yes.
But yeah.
Now, one thing I can thank them for is keep the GameCube controller alive.
So I feel like
But even the colors, like the color
Yeah.
options on this were so awesome. Like, look how cool this purple is. The orange,
Orange.
the like
Yeah.
the
The
white
silver.
one.
Yeah, I just have another.
Yes.
Japan got more. Japan got like a green one. They got a blue.
teal.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right there.
Yeah.
There was a Pikmin one, and then there was also a like faded green that came with Tales of Symphonia console. So pretty cool. I really like that with the GameCube.
So with all that being said, I have another weird one, and I think this is going to be the only non console controller because this is a third party one.
I mean, you nominated the keyboard.
Keyboard and mouse.
Yeah, that's actually like a button input, but I have a Retro Fighters Battler GC. This is my go-to controller for everything on my PC.
Oh.
I love the GameCube controller. Actually, Phil, you got to hold this next time you're over. This is my go-to when I'm using everything. It does everything that Mateo said that he's missing on the GameCube. It has the extra button on. It has the extra Z button on each side. It has the clickable sticks. It has the flickable everything. It has an extra. So you have the home button, I guess, which would be like your Xbox or your PlayStation. Press plus and minus for your start and select. Has a sync button. It has the 2 extra back paddles on here as well. Supports vibrate. And it's the function of a GameCube controller. I love having the big A button, and then I just move my thumb between B and X and up to Y if I need it for anything. The C stick is responsible even in first-person shooters. This was my go-to with Destiny and with any other first-person game that I was playing on PC.
Does it have the notches?
Cool thing about it has notches built into it too.
Oh, okay.
It's Bluetooth, but it also came with a USB stick that you could plug in, and you could toggle it between the Bluetooth mode and 2.4 gigahertz.
Mm-hmm.
So it has this will give it the proprietary wireless connection, so it's not interfering with anything. So the latency goes down. And that isn't all, because they also let you play it with your GameCube because they give you the Wavebird plugin for your GameCube. So this will also work on the Wii. This will also work on the Wii U.
Well, yeah, through the
USB adapter thing.
Yeah.
And on the Switch. Yeah.
Yes.
So
and the Switch 2 technically.
Yeah. So
by extension.
This works on everything that I care for it to work on.
Mm-hmm.
This is my go-to, and of course, it's a USB Type-C, super long battery life as well. This is my favorite.
The only thing is the D-pad's not the greatest, and I feel like the plus and minus buttons are not raised enough for my liking. But I have the same controller.
Mateo has the clear one.
But mine's clear. Adriano has, I think, a black version. They released 3 or 4 different colors of this.
This is my favorite.
Yeah, so
I wish they had orange.
Yes. Or the triggers are so good on this.
Yeah.
It's such a comfortable controller.
Yeah. Phil, you got to try it next time you're over.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, it looks really cool. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. This is my number one personally. But yeah. And then honorable mentions, I have my 8-bit DOE Super Nintendo controller with the control sticks that kind of make it like a DualShock. This is just great to throw in your pocket and sync it to your phone for mobile games.
Mm-hmm.
I used this on Wii to play Path when Jules lent it to me the first time, so it's good, not great, but easy.
Yeah.
So I have one more controller I'm going to nominate.
Is it the Atari 2600 stick?
Oh, the Switch 2 one.
Joy-Con.
Yeah.
Thank you. I was regretting not bringing mine in here. I'm glad you're not.
Yeah. The glow up that the Switch Joy-Con got on Switch 2, this is better in every single way to a normal Joy-Con.
Yeah, the old one.
Better battery, way better hand feel. It feels more premium. The magnets don't make the controller feel rickety, because the rail really made the controller feel rickety. The buttons are bigger. The face buttons are bigger.
For us big hand people,
It feels so much nicer. The mouse controls, it's so awesome. I played Metroid Prime 4, maybe 25% of the game I played with mouse mode, and it was really fun. And just like the rumble is significantly better. I find that just the way they even like they talked about the way the bumpers work on this controller. Like you can press the bumper at any angle and it registers the input, which is really, really cool. What's the game? The Welcome Tour, Switch 2 Welcome Tour, goes in depth about like every single, even like minute change that they made with this controller. The bumpers, like if you're playing like this with the wrist strap, they're way bigger buttons and they're metal.
Yeah.
And like the
bigger shoulder buttons for for the single player mode.
Yeah, it just
was such an improvement because the other ones were tiny. You had to basically go like.
Yeah, your fingers would be like this on it, but like this is just more natural feeling like this. I know I should have brought the wrist strap because like that definitely adds a lot of feel to it. But like the control sticks feel very similar to the way that the Switch 2 Pro controller control sticks feel.
Mm-hmm.
Very similar.
No drift. No drift.
Yeah, at least now.
Yeah.
Mateo, can you pass me that over there?
Oh yes, Gino has
Yeah.
his Switch right here.
Yeah. Another honorable mention. This is my preferred way to play on my Switch 2.
Well, you just
Yeah,
put it.
it's just two of the Joy-Cons.
Yeah,
so,
that's the D brand.
Yeah, the D brand kill switch. Mine almost died because of like the whole falling thing. They gladly fixed that, but yeah.
Yeah, I do like the
Just
extra size.
What a controller!
I like the
It's
it
a
also
very
has a
good
silkiness.
controller.
Yeah.
It's also like so seamless to swap over to something like mouse mode
Yeah.
because I didn't really utilize it till Pokopia, and then once I started like realizing how optimal the mouse mode was, I started trying to use it, and it's just so easy to use. Like how like it can just like be on any surface, and like I think that's the real innovation. And on top of that, the magnets, like Mateo said, so strong, so amazing, and they even have buttons that let you
Yes.
take the magnetic Joy-Cons off.
Yeah,
Because
it's
for the
right
first
here.
3 months of me
Oh,
having
yeah.
the Switch 2, I didn't know those buttons existed. I thought those were just some kind of trigger. So every time I wanted to remove my Joy-Cons, I just yanked as hard as I could till they came off. And let me tell you, it was hard to do, and I was like, I guess that makes sense. They don't want kids. They want this falling off, but you know, it's.
Was it when I was
Yeah.
over that you found out when I like clicked the? It was like around then.
That
I was
moment
complaining-
I heard about
I
this, it was
complaining
so
to
funny.
somebody. I
Yeah.
was complaining
And
to
I, like,
somebody about it.
pressed
I'm
the
like,
button.
well, you know, my only issue is how hard I need to control it. And you're like,
Yeah, I
"You
remember
press-
that.
you press this button."
So funny.
Just like the DualSense, there's just so much tech packed into such a small controller, and I
It's
just feel
almost
like
alien technology.
yeah, the innovation in the Joy-Cons, even if you can lump the original Joy-Con in there, it's just like yeah, it had drift and whatever, but like the amount of innovation in these two little controllers that Nintendo packed in, it's kind of like the spiritual successor to the Wii Remote in a way, and I just really appreciate that. This is such a solid controller.
Yeah.
Like, I used to make fun of Gino for playing
the definitive way.
with the two Joy-Con ones on like the grip on the Switch 1, but I find myself doing that sometimes with the Joy-Con
On
2
that
because
one.
I really like how they feel.
Yeah, I mean,
So,
since
yeah,
I don't
I
think
love these.
since I don't think we're going to nominate the Switch One, I think it's also good to say that like the fact that you can take them out and play 2-player anywhere is absolutely genius. Like maybe it's a little awkward, but it's so amazing you can just do that on the plane anywhere. It was really innovative at the time. Yeah.
And I have 5 pairs of Joy-Cons for Switch 1, and not a single one has ever had drift. So
You
As far as
lucky.
I
I'm
had
aware.
that issue. It was so bad.
Yeah.
And I
As
even
far as
replaced
I'm aware.
the sticks on the inside of
I-
them, and then those started drifting.
I got a little bit of it started,
I don't believe. I'm a denier.
and I
It
got
doesn't exist. It doesn't happen to me.
the second that there was those Hall effect replacements. Like I just bought like 4 packs of those, and I just replaced them right away. Like when I get new sticks. Although I haven't done it. There's nothing for the Switch 2 yet. So, but nothing yet. No one's really complained about it yet. Well, we'll see.
Yeah.
If they fix it, they're not going to say anything because they still don't want to get sued.
Yeah.
That there was a problem.
Yeah.
But yeah.
At this point, I think it's safe to say there isn't a problem because if even one person had that problem, those very adamant Nintendo Switch 2 haters would have already dug it up and made it the most visible thing on the internet.
I think they definitely made it better.
It's safe to say where they.
Yep. So, does anyone have any other nominations?
I have a few things just to talk about real quick. I don't think they're gonna get on the last list. I don't know how many we have right now, but
we have 15. We have 15 right now. Oh,
15.
Boy.
Okay, so these are just like honorable mentions then. So we got the Dreamcast. I think the most interesting thing about this one is definitely the little tiny memory cards here. So these the VMUs, yeah. So not only could you save with these guys, but you could get a little battery and it becomes like a Tamagotchi style thing. So you can feed your pets, your chows on the go with this. Yeah. And there was a bunch of different mini games that you could download from different games, these little like Galaga shooters and stuff like that. It would actually, while you're playing games, like let's say you're playing Resident Evil, it would actually show your life on here, or potentially like a map on like another game. Lots of the time they just put a logo here, but like it's really cool when it was utilized, and it has its own little speaker, so sometimes it can make sounds. There was other rumble packs, just like the N64, that you could put on here. There are a lot of awkward things about this controller. There's no other analog stick, but that was like not standard at the time. It was really early. It was like 98 or whatever, so I think it might even be in the same year as the DualShock or something. But the D-pad is actually a Hall effector. It's similar technology, so they had that down way early before anyone else. So these things will like never drift. Yeah, which is cool.
Yeah, the Sega for the Dreamcast was just light years ahead of anything else at the time, and it's just a real shame that never caught on. They even had like, I know this isn't a hardware like consoles list or anything like that, but like the Sega Dreamcast had the first like online play.
Oh yeah.
For any of the major competitors, like a good 10 years almost.
I love me some Phantasy Star Online. Phantasy Star Online's amazing, but you know a lot of games they didn't have like an online mode, but they'd have like an online website you could access like from the game. So for like Sonic Adventure, you could go onto the website from like the main page, and you could download DLC. They have like Valentine's events and things like that. I think they still had those on the GameCube version, but it was weird that they added that in. But it was cool. It's also, I think, the first system. No. There was triggers on the 3D controller on the Sega Saturn, but this is a continuation of that. They're all right. They're definitely better than the GameCube down thing. Like they are a trigger, but yeah, I do really have fond memories of this controller, but it's not the best. It doesn't have another analog stick. This stick's kind of stiff. This is really stiff. This D-pad is like risen, and it can barely go down. It's not the best feeling thing. But yeah, that's the Dreamcast. One other thing I want to mention is my Namco GunCon 2. I love this thing for the PS2. You play Time Crisis and
Time Crisis.
There's like Vampire and House of the Dead and all these different games. There's a Resident Evil that uses this. It's called Dead Aim. It's not even that long. It's like 3 hours long. But there's a D-pad on this thing. So you walk around with this D-pad, and then you go into first-person mode, and then you shoot the zombies. It's pretty crazy. But I absolutely love this thing. I love Time Crisis.
Oh gosh, we gotta try that.
It's so fun. I also have the GunCon 1. So this is the first one they have for PS1, and it doesn't have the D-pad and stuff. And it's bigger. It's really nice. And these are the Japanese versions. That's why they're black. The North American ones are like orange or something, so they don't look like real guns.
They're not allowed to have it look like a real gun.
Yeah, but I imported them. I'm a bad boy. But yeah, I love these things. Time Crisis is one of my favorites. I don't have a pedal, but what you can do is you can actually take a PS2 controller and put it under your foot, and if you press any button on the PS2 controller in slot 2, it counts as a pedal, so you can like duck in the game. But yeah, I love light gun games, so I thought I'd mention some light guns. And I guess the one other thing to mention is the Sega Saturn controller is absolutely godlike for 2D games. This D-pad is amazing, and 6 front buttons standard. Like this thing's just it's a dream. If you haven't used this, you should try. I know not many people have played a Sega Saturn or maybe even seen a Sega Saturn.
We have.
It's not that popular,
We have.
but I love this thing so much. Anyways, that's everything.
So, before we get into our deliberation, I'm just going to quickly go over the 15 controllers that have been officially nominated. We have the SNES controller, the Wii Remote, the Wii Classic Controller Pro, mouse and keyboard, the DualShock 2 and DualShock 3, the N64 controller, Xbox 360 controller, arcade sticks in general, the Switch 2 Pro controller, the DualSense controller, the Xbox Series X controller, the GameCube controller, the Battler GC, and the Joy-Con 2 controllers. So, we have 15 controllers. We gotta whittle it down to 10 first. What five controllers are we cutting from this list?
I would like to present an idea. Why don't we just nominate the best version of every controller, as a blanket statement? Like I feel like we don't need like 3 different Xbox controllers for all every variation.
Maybe
of
we
PlayStation
can
controller.
we could go through it and think of these then. Like if you're, so I think that means that we're thinking we're cutting the
That's a good
360
starting point.
one.
That's a good starting
I-
point.
I wouldn't.
But see, I agree with that in some scenarios, like the Switch 1 to Switch 2, or the Xbox One to the Xbox Series, because they
Yeah,
are
very
functionally the same
similar.
controller. I don't think the Xbox 360 and the Xbox Series are even remotely similar, and I don't think the DualSense and the DualShock are even remote. So
No. I'm saying like those
Yeah.
are fundamentally different. But I'm saying like DualShock 2 through 4.
We don't have 4. We only have 2.
Well, 4,
and three.
yeah, and 4 is different, but I agree. 2 and 3, I agree. We should just choose one for that one.
Yeah.
For sure. Which, Phil, you're the leading
You're the
Sony
expert.
boy here, so you make the call.
I mean, I'm going to say PS2 because I don't like those triggers, to be honest.
That's the original.
Yeah.
Go for it. DualShock 2, DualShock 3, yeah, 14.
Get mine and just go.
So
Then we would leave the Xbox Series controller also because the Xbox One controller was just eh.
the Xbox One controller was not nominated.
Wasn't on their
Gene.
list.
I
Yeah,
thought it was.
No.
No, just
No,
the
it's not
series.
Officially nominated.
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. We
Um,
have
Those
14
are
now.
the only two. Yeah.
So,
What about with the Wii Remote and the Wii Remote Pro? Do we want to just lump them in with like Wii Remote plus accessories?
I mean, you could, but I also think that gives the Wii Remote an unfair edge. in a way.
yeah. I mean, I don't know how other people feel, but I feel the Wii's a pretty powerful pick if you put it with something else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I
the
think
Wii Remote
those
by
should be
itself is
separate.
very powerful. How I'm viewing this is that the Wii Remote itself was so innovative and like so important that it's a powerhouse on itself. And just adding this extra thing is like it's like you're getting Infinity and Infinity plus 1. They're both really big.
Did
Sure.
That's how I'm seeing it. But
Yeah.
you can't really do anything else with a Wii Remote to like can you pair it to like other things? Does it have any other utility outside of just sticking on the Nintendo Wii or the Wii U?
I mean,
No,
I
don't
mean, I
with-
think those are things to discuss when we're
Yeah.
deliberating it. But
We're just
I,
gotta
I,
whittle.
I think that they're
what
separate.
realistically, like the thing we should be thinking about is what 4 of these controllers shouldn't be considered in a conversation of like the top 10.
I will give up my Battler GC, even though I will argue it's better than the original GameCube controller because it adds all that extra.
I appreciate it because I think I was gonna mention it soon.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I wanted to mention it, but I appreciate you.
No, I know. I knew fully well when I nominated
This-
this.
yeah.
This is
So-
my greedy pick. Is that it takes everything that the GameCube does and updates it. But if Nintendo made their own version, that would be perfect.
So
Yeah.
this is what I would like to put out there. With mouse and keyboard, there's a billion mice and keyboard setups. right?
Yeah.
I feel like that, and even the arcade sticks,
Yeah.
I feel like those are just so broad. Where like everything else we're comparing now, besides those, are singular controllers.
You can
Yeah.
also look at it from the lens of like they are not just controllers, right?
Yeah.
Like if we're talking about
It is-
controllers, like they are emulating something separate. Like the arcade machines are like emulating
Yeah.
the arcade machine. The mouse and keyboard is something that is
Like,
can be utilized.
I will
Yeah, so
nominate.
people just using the technology. Yeah.
I will nominate to get rid of
Yeah.
arcade sticks because I think it makes it difficult to do the list. To be honest, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then
And
just
yeah,
one
mouse and
more.
keyboard, you can get rid of it. Yeah, just because like it's an input method that like back in the day people used because it's what they had.
I
We gotta knock one
we-
more off.
honestly, if I think just knock then the Wii U Pro or the Wii Pro. Like I think I could definitely argue it, but I definitely think of the 11 there. That's probably the one I'm gonna have to die on a hill to even get it on. And I love it, but I don't love it that to that degree. Like
Yeah.
I'm okay with it not being in the
Yeah.
top 10.
yeah.
So okay, so the final 10. Gino, make sure you pay attention to this.
Well, be quiet.
Yes. So we have the
Be quiet,
SNES.
Mateo. Be quiet.
Yes. The SNES controller, the Wii Remote, the DualShock 2, N64 controller, Xbox 360 controller, Switch 2 Pro controller, DualSense, Xbox Series X controller, GameCube controller, and Joy-Con 2.
Half the list is Nintendo,
So-
and the other half is everything.
Do we try to go from
Number-
the bottom up? Like, do we go? What do we think's
Yeah,
number 10?
I think
Yeah.
yeah.
I think there's a very safe number 10 here.
I think there's a very clear number 10.
yes,
Mm,
I would
okay.
put the Nintendo 64.
Nintendo 64.
Yeah, I know. On my list, I would.
Rementioned it.
Yes,
When you
on my
rementioned
list
it,
it
I
would
was
be
like-
higher. Yeah.
To be honest, when you mentioned it, I was like, damn, I should have died on the Wii Pro controller because I don't want the N64 controller on this list. But I'm also I'm an N64 alarmist, as
Hey,
you know, those who watch the channel before know, and even though I love N64, but I do think that's the clear number 10. Like, I do think it's
I-
a his controller, even though it's very,
yeah, I
you know,
think it's
Strange.
it was revolutionary for a time. It has a lot of fun memories around it. Some of the best games of all time. But, I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
well, we should say why it's at 10. Like,
Okay.
Like,
I
yeah,
think it breaks down pretty fast. I think it's knowing that you can't get the D-pad and the analog in the same spot. I know that wasn't done before at that point, but they didn't do a great job of integrating that. Also, the D-pad's kind of stiff. If
The
you ever
hand
used it,
cramping.
it's
Yeah.
it's not the best.
Yeah. For kid hands, it's fine. For grown up hands, it's just
I don't know.
everything is like smushed together.
I'm surprisingly comfortable holding this. I know it's like it's nostalgia definitely plays a factor in there.
Yeah.
But I feel like you could make the argument for every Nintendo made controller after the N64 being like they've aged way better because of having the extra stick. I feel like the 4C buttons don't necessarily I feel like they're the biggest thing that holds the controller back in a modern sense.
yeah.
But I feel like just the historical importance of this controller with like all the accessories it could have, the control stick. I feel like that
You can even
alone.
plug in your Game Boy games to these.
Yeah,
Yes.
like that. I feel like is important enough for it to be at number 10.
Yeah.
So
And
Absolutely.
And I mean, it was an accessory, but I think it was the first controller with Rumble, or maybe it was the first one that was big advertisement for it, right?
Yeah.
And
It was a packet with Starbucks.
you know, and
it's over there.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
and
I was
they
wondering, like, where's the box?
and they always had
Yeah,
expansion.
Yeah, that's fair. That's a very good.
Yeah.
Okay, next up,
Whew.
Number 9.
What did we got? So,
so I'm just
See,
trying to
that's-
think of just like pure, like more utility kind of stuff.
yeah, I'm having a hard. I'm having a hard time with 360 and series still. I just
Yeah.
how do I play like
I-
360 is like
Yeah.
historically amazing,
Three-
but
360 was the torchbearer for a long time for like just like a generic like. I would even argue like a PC controller because it was advertised with Windows and things like that at that time as well.
Mm-hmm.
But the series controller just like even the one controller did up it, but I did find myself going back to the 360 controller for a lot of things on PC. Once I was able to connect my series controller to a PC, there was no going back to the 360.
Yeah, I feel like with the 360 controller, obviously the D-pad holds it back. I just feel like
the face buttons aren't spaced out properly.
Yeah,
That's my only gripe with it.
Yeah, I really like it, but like I feel like there's a lot of entries on this list where the respective company has outdone that controller
Right.
a following controller, right? Like I feel like the Series X outdoes the 360 controller. I feel like the DualSense outdoes any of the previous PlayStation controllers. The Switch 2 Pro controller outdoes the GameCube controller.
And
like,
I'm
I feel
feeling
like there's a lot of
I'm feeling that's where our top 5's going. To be honest, that's what I was thinking. But
yeah, and then it's just like splitting hairs as to like which ones we want on top.
yeah,
Right.
But like,
yeah.
realistically though, like
um,
I could see maybe like in the next few like the Joy-Con 2. Like I
Right,
don't know
yeah.
necessarily how you guys feel about it. Like I know
I agree.
The Switch Pro 2.
it like this just came out, right? Like it's hard to kind of to gauge the
and you can't even pair it to anything else.
That's
At
my
this
big
point,
thing
right?
about it is that it's cool and it's definitely an upgrade from the Joy-Con, but what's revolutionary about it can still be associated with the Joy-Con 1 mostly. And the improvements are great, but also we're sitting here with an untapped potential version of it, judging it with like, look how it can be utilized.
Instead of
Whereas
how it
like
is.
we don't actually know how it will be utilized,
Yeah.
and it's one that can go either way. Of like we could be looking back at the Joy-Con 2 in 5 years and be like, wow, look at how amazing and revolutionary that controller was. But I think right now, sitting and looking at it, like it could be that I'm not as comfortable throwing it above things that we know what it opens up avenues for. So I actually feel like that's my number 3 person.
Yeah, I think
I'm kind of leaning towards that as well.
I don't think it's like
With a lot of that.
crazy comfortable, to be honest, compared to the other stuff on the list. I think that's where it kind of goes down for me. Also, the fact that we still don't have a... I mean, we can't, but, like, there's no D-pad. I'm a D-pad man.
I mean, that's what the other one is for.
Yeah.
Is the D-pad.
Well, and that's why that one's up higher on the
It's
list.
more Yeah.
Yeah, because
Oh,
one
you
have the other.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah. So
I think
I
the
Oh, it's
next...
from Pokemon.
yeah.
I think the next...
So we'll put that at 9. Number
Okay.
8.
So,
I would say this.
I think it's...
I would say 360. Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
You go, Phil. You go, Phil.
I'd say 360 and then maybe PS2.
Yeah.
Or Super Nintendo. I don't know.
I would
I
honestly-
feel
I would put 360 then Wii.
I honestly I did a very good job of explaining the Wii remote, but I don't think the Wii remote cracks my personal top 5.
really
So
it saved
like, I could
Nintendo.
see like okay, yes, but like I could see 7, 8 could be either like, well, my personal 8 through 6 would be like the DualShock 2, the Wii remote, and then the 360 controller.
I feel like those are the next 3 for all of us.
I actually very much disagree. I think Wiimote is one I'm willing to die on, but I actually think this guy is going earlier. I know it's really good as a classic, and I know that that's a big thing, but this is, I'm sorry, this is not, like the Wii remote is a better controller for these types of games than the SNES is.
Yeah,
in
because
my
you can
opinion.
actually plug one into the Wii remote.
I don't.
Well,
that
but
D-pad.
it's
That,
like-
that D-pad's stiff on the Wii, and it only has the 2 buttons
Yeah,
on the
but
right
it-
side.
I feel like though, like the only thing that like the SNES controller is very iconic. It added the shoulder buttons, but I think the number one thing people go back to it for is the D-pad.
It's
But
amazing. Yeah.
it's kind of it is amazing, but like, is that it? Like,
Yeah, that's my big.
It
point
set
about
the
it, is
standard
like,
for a lot of. It set the standard for a lot of the controllers to come.
I
Everything
think-
in one way or another is based.
I know we're not basing this off
or
of
based on
nostalgia, but it does have like so much relevance with what it did, where it made that
yes,
the shoulder pads and this 4 buttons on the front there like that. And oh my god, that D-pad's so nice. So
But hey,
do you want it
it
next? Is
doesn't
that what you
necessarily
want
need to go
this?
at 8 though.
I don't
think
want
the-
that to go at 8. No, this should not go at 8. No, this should.
I'm
think
still
it should go
thinking. I'm
after
still
the-
thinking
yeah.
360 PS2. That's what I'm thinking.
I agree. I think
Yeah.
360 PS2.
So
Yeah.
so if it's between those two, I personally would put the DualShock 2 at 8 and then the 360 controller at 7, just because of the longevity of the 360 controller. I personally would put it higher for that reason.
Yeah.
But I don't know how you guys feel.
It's so hard.
I think it depends on what you're balancing, right? Because like we're balancing
Yeah.
two different things here. I think, which is functionally what it is, and like innovation what it is, and ultimately DualShock 2 is much more innovative in terms of what it brings to the table of
it was the
its
first
longevity, just similar
modern
to the
controller.
SNES controller, right?
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Is so like SNES is going to get to 6 or higher just purely on how innovative it was. Like I actually feel like
Yeah.
DualShock did more.
Yeah.
And
I
Xbox
agree.
360 is strong, but like it's strong for the same reasons that the ones that are going to probably be in our top 5 are strong, which is that they're functionally good controllers. So
Yeah.
that's the only, and I'm not saying that means that 360 should go lower than DualShock 2. I'm happy with either placing. But it was just something. to consider.
No, Jules. That's
I'm not willing to die on the hill for
for a 360
Like,
controller.
between 7 and 8. Like it's not worth the deliberation, to be honest with you. It's like slightly higher than the other. Like I'm fine with that.
Okay.
I still find myself coming back and fidgeting with this 8-bit dough one.
It is.
So
yeah.
It feels so good,
so
and it has the little.
Oh. So we're doing the 360 controller at 8 and the DualShock 2 at 7.
Okay. So now.
So the six that we have left, basically now, which one doesn't make the top 5 out of SNES, Wii Remote, Switch 2 Pro, the DualSense, the Series X controller, and the GameCube controller? That's
This is probably
me
good.
personally. Oh yeah, go ahead, Phil.
I think we're gonna end up being all the modern ones. We're gonna fight them at the top. I think that's
Yeah.
what's happening.
Is that
Yeah.
necessarily a bad thing, though?
No, not necessarily. It's not necessarily a bad thing.
Yeah.
I would fight maybe for. I feel really strongly about the Wii. I don't know why, but I do. So maybe that one should go
being in
higher.
the top 5.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
I can have Wii in the top 5.
I'd like to say why I feel it should go in the top 5, just so our listeners know, just so it's not like
Yeah.
arbitrary.
Yeah.
But guys, I think both of these controllers are really, really important. I think that we, as a controller, opened up so many avenues of gaming that did not exist prior to the tech existing. And even now, all of the controllers, like 3 of our 5 controllers, are going to be things that have motion controls, right? And then we talked about how versatile it is. And I know we're not talking about all the accessories, but like Wii Motion Plus, right? Like that one-to-one motion was so good. It became a standard in all of the controllers after. And that's more where it's like when I look at games and controlling games, like manipulating something in a game, you can't accomplish the same level of like that subset of games without the Wii remote.
Yeah.
Right? Like you can't create those kinds of games. Like, and there are some games that are like the optimal versions are with the Wii remote, right?
Yeah.
Like it's better to play Okami with a Wii remote if you want to have that paintbrush motion, right? Like, and so that's where I would put the Wii remote because it offers something that really opens up gaming.
You know, when you go back,
and I really think when you talk about the Wii remote, I think in terms of the accessories, at the very minimum, like when I argue for the Wii remote, I'm at the minimum, including Motion Plus and the nunchuck with this controller.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's not just this controller.
It's all the extra stuff that goes with it.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
And hey,
I don't have any nunchucks.
no, but we do, Mateo. Give me the N64 controller.
Oh yeah.
The analog stick and the Z trigger is what the nunchuck is.
Yeah,
If you actually it's really cool. Except there's no wire coming out from the tip of the middle prong.
You know,
Yeah.
I love that Easter egg.
I really appreciate that the Wiimote is like, it's just such a unique, obviously attached to that system. Just Dance wouldn't have been around without that thing. You know, we got all those shooters too, like Resident Evil Darkside Chronicles and Umbrella Chronicles and Time Crisis and stuff you can play. House of the Dead, there's a collection and a new game, I think, Overkill or whatever. They're all amazing on that system, and that's only doable on there. You can kind of get away with it on the Switch, but it's not the best. And then I still feel Galaxy's the best when you waggle for the spin. And you know, Skyward Sword was such a unique experience. There's so many. It did something. I think it's the last time we got something unique from a controller, and that's why I feel so strongly about it. Yeah.
Yeah, and it also made a lot of like peripherals outdated, right? Like you no longer needed the Maraca controllers, you no longer needed the Zapper, you no longer needed all these unique controllers that were so fun for those single games they came out for before. But now the Wii Remote can functionally do those same things and emulate that experience. So it's not the perfect game for every game, but it's the perfect game for some, or perfect control. It's not the perfect controller for every game, but it's the perfect controller for some games.
So
and that's why I think that it's yeah.
So we still have the GameCube controller, don't we? Or did we put that down?
Well,
So GameCube still
it's still on, but we have to. What is 6 though? Like, is 6 going to be the SNES controller then?
I think this is a very strong, like it created so much, and we owe so much to it, and that's why it's superseded. Like even controllers that were more innovative, technically by what they could functionally do, because it's it's grandfathered into 6.
I'd say
pretty strong number.
I'd say it's that main lineage. You know, it's what we have now. Modern came from the Super Nintendo. You know, we had the NES version. They screwed it with Super Nintendo. PlayStation literally had the first controller was a Super Nintendo controller with handles, and then they added the analog stick.
Yeah.
And then Xbox adjusted that, and now we kind of have what we have modern. So it really cemented like what people want and appreciate in the standard. You know.
This became this.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yes. And like honestly, like prior to this generation of controllers, I remember when we used to debate controllers on which were the strongest, and this is a testament to that. And yes, and what you said, Phil, about like its D-pad is so strong. This was the tiebreaker of every controller debate we had: is how good was the D-pad on those controllers? Because everything else was growing, but nothing could get back to this. Now our modern controllers are starting to get that, and that's why we're here, right?
I say we're finally there with the Series and the Switch 2 controller. I think those D-pads are phenomenal. They're finally back. I lamented the death of the D-pad for a long time. So, the PlayStation's never had a good D-pad. I'll just put that out there.
Agreed.
So we have 5 left now: the Wii Remote, the Switch 2 Pro controller, the DualSense, the Series X controller, and the GameCube controller.
I think GameCube can go at 5 personally, just because all of the it was
The
the
D-pad argument does not work for the GameCube
Yeah, I know,
controller.
but the GameCube
bad.
controller was the next, essentially, in my opinion, evolution of this. You had your 4-face buttons. You had your control stick, which replaced the D-pad. You had the left and right buttons. You had an additional Z button, and you had a C stick. It basically fused what the N64 controller had going for it, plus this returning buttons back to it.
It's
But
almost.
the GameCube
I almost.
controller.
Maybe this is a different perspective because I was a Sony kid. I have a GameCube later, but it almost felt like it was their half step between the N64 and a PlayStation. They're like, we don't want to copy you. We're going to do our own thing, but we're going to kind of have another analog stick. We're going to kind of have, the back buttons.
And the only reason why And the only reason why I'm saying it goes now is because it didn't go far enough by adding that extra. The C stick should have been slightly larger, and it needed that extra button on the other side. It needed that.
But the
like,
triggers
that
are so
that-
good. The Wavebird introduced Rumble.
No, Wavebird didn't have Rumble in
It introduced Rumble like as a wireless controller.
Oh no,
No,
it
Wavebird
didn't have
Wavebird
it didn't
didn't
have
have
one
no,
roll.
it didn't.
No.
But the Wavebird was the first wireless
Yeah,
mainstream controller.
it was really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I still use
That's where
it.
I got you
I still use it as my
It's such a
my
good
go-to.
controller.
This guy. Yeah.
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 I just
also think there's a reason that
And it's
persistent.
the reason.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's a reason why I also have this, but this fixed a lot of those issues.
are we
Yes,
putting
You were in the minority with
I know.
having that.
I know.
so
I
the
know.
other options, right, are the 3 modern picks and the Wiimote, right, and then the GameCube. That's it.
Yeah.
So are we
Yeah.
putting it above the 3 main new ones, or is it going before?
I would argue. I mean,
Well-
I'll make my final case on GameCube, and then I'll let you guys make
Yeah.
the decision.
Yeah.
I like I said, actually GameCube. I'm not the person to die on the hill of GameCube. I actually, in my personal version, it might not even get the top 5. In this personal, like in this deliberation, why I'm going to go to bat for GameCube, the same way I'm going to bat for Wii, is I think that the reason this controller has persisted to this day is because it is not trying to be what is like the standard meets the everyman game controller. It does what it does well. The way that the button layout is is a detriment when you play modern games, because modern games don't build their games around this layout. But the games that built their games around this layout, those games are way more intuitive, way easier to control. That's why GameCube games, in my opinion, are way, way better, way more fun, way more intuitive and easy to play than any game on a modern controller, because this button layout really, really highlights what is the primary button to press for this, right? Like, the reason this doesn't work with modern games as well, or like PC games, is because everything tries to cater to the new button layout of like all 4 buttons are equal, but in my opinion, not all 4 buttons are equal.
No,
There
that
is a
again.
supremacy,
I
and it is here.
I do
I
appreciate
use
that.
that.
I do appreciate this.
No, and this is why I
And-
use this as my PC controller.
And the nubs. I
No,
like
we're not talking about this. We're talking about that.
the
And
indents.
that misses
Yeah.
modern features.
I like the
No,
indents
but yes,
too.
that's my point. Is it's not about modern features for me. It's about the avenues of gaming, and I actually don't think that the issue with with the GameCube controller is that the GameCube controller has an issue. I think the issue is that modern games are catering to this new button layout, but you don't need all those buttons. I could
That's
have
true.
played Breath of the Wild with this, but the reason it didn't work is because they didn't design the game around this controller.
Right.
But if they kept this controller layout, and they designed around it, I actually think this controller layout is better than the modern game layout.
for
It's
some
just
games.
because games are catering to that. For some games,
I don't
sure.
think. Let's be let's be fair. Okay, this thing is amazing for third-person action games and like, I don't know, 2D stuff, obviously, but unlike a modern controller that can do pretty much everything, this thing is not giving you that D-pad for 2D, and it's not giving you that analog, like the good feeling camera analog stick. Unfortunately,
Sure.
but you could play Wind Waker on a modern controller. It wouldn't be as good. I agree with you, but this thing becomes like not the best with certain kinds of games. Is what I'd say.
That's fine.
Now,
It was just my case. I'm not
Yeah.
dying on the hill, so if you guys are not convinced, go with what you believe.
I have a question for you guys.
Uh-huh.
When it comes to controllers that have 2 sticks, what's your preferred layout? Do you like the offsetting ones? Do you like them being in the exact same like level, like both being at the bottom?
Offset.
I like offset.
I don't think I have a preference.
I disagree.
I think I'm with.
I disagree.
I think this should be higher than 5, but for, considering what's been said about the Wii Remote and the GameCube controller, this controller does have flaws.
The battery life.
The battery life is not like as good as the modern counterparts. The D-pad is not
Yeah.
as good as the modern counterparts, and it has the sticks, which I personally they've improved over the 4,
They're not
but
perfect.
they're not offset.
You know,
And I
I,
really
this
like
is my
having
number 5.
the offset controller.
I agree with you.
You know,
This is my number 5.
I appreciate that they tried a lot of new things with this. It didn't pan out with a lot of games. And I do really like this controller.
Yeah.
God, this or GameCube, eh? Is that what we're doing pretty much?
This, like the DualShock 5,
Or Wii. Like, I
Yeah.
think those, in my opinion, those are the bottom.
In my heart, I want Wii higher.
I agree. I agree. But that's the thing. It's like, what's innovative about this are minor little things. They don't open up new avenues for games. They let you experience a game in a more direct way. And I think the GameCube is very similar, which is why I would put Wii higher than both. But I think that this one, there are better options of this type of controller. There are no better options to this type of controller. And with an addendum, like, no, there's like third-party ones, but I'm saying in terms of like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
we're looking at strictly.
this is like the best version of this kind of controller.
Yeah.
So this is like a group, so I'm gonna say, if we put PS5 here, is the next GameCube then? Is that how we feel about this?
It would be, yeah. It would be a 2 birds, 1 stone.
Because I don't think that GameCube beats Wii Series
Any of
or
the other-
Switch 2.
the GameCube isn't in my top 3 personally.
Yeah,
The DualSense was my number 3,
It was my number 3 also.
but I
It's
think given
probably my number
like
3
and-
also.
and
but-
just in terms of like a comfort thing, like though, but like I'm not considering the historical aspect of everything like we are with the GameCube
That
controller
old
and
things.
with the Wii remote,
Yeah.
right? So
yeah.
in
Do you
terms
want to
of
put it to
personal-
a vote? Because like it sounds like originally you were all aiming for this at 5 and this at 4, and then I made the case for this, but that doesn't necessarily mean you have to be convinced. Like it seems like it's
well,
between the
I
two.
would have this lower if it was up to me, but
Well, I think me and Jules are fighting for it to be higher.
yeah, and I
Yeah.
respect that. I
Yeah.
respect that.
See, and for me, I all know how you guys feel about this, but this is a problem for me.
You got
This
those man
controller
hands.
is way too small.
The series?
This is better for me.
Gino has big hands.
I have
Okay.
massive hands.
Okay, I think we're very torn on GameCube, and
Yeah.
should we
Honestly,
should we
though,
vote for the
I'm
2
happy
and then
with-
put them in and then just talk
with
about the
4
rest?
With 4 or 5, it doesn't matter for me. It doesn't. Because I love my Elite controller. I love this. I prefer this. But if my Elite controller was bigger, I wouldn't have even bought this.
And if your
So
lead
here's the
controller
thing.
didn't fall
now,
apart.
I think there's a different. I think there's a different thing happening here. I think. I don't think this is as clear cut as you guys think. Like I do think that what we have to name is why, like not what like are these controllers good for every game? Like why is this controller
Here.
good, or like what's important, or why is it here? Because honestly, Gino, now that you brought that up about that being small, I'm like, yeah, you know what? The Nintendo Switch 2 controller is literally just a better Xbox controller. So why is the Xbox controller going to go right after it?
Yeah, and look at
Why
this.
not have different
They
options?
barely
This is a
touch.
different option. This is something that if you prefer the parallel
But
trigger,
I don't.
and you
I
like-
don't like the parallel. If, for instance, if this had the offset,
yeah,
and wasn't like
See, I was
if this was
surprised.
bigger, it would be my perfect thing.
This is
If
one
this
thing.
was bigger, it would be perfect.
This is one thing I'm gonna say about this controller. Like, yeah, it's my go-to. I'm very comfortable with it. I love this D-pad. But I was actually having a struggle talking about what makes this unique. To be honest, when I brought it up. So maybe that's an idea. I don't know. Maybe
It does everything perfectly, though. Well, close to perfectly.
I
It's
yeah.
Does it?
it's optimized. It is optimized
But-
for what it is. It just needs to be
Like if
bigger.
we're comparing this to the PS5
But-
controller, I kind of like that it just has a button for select and it's not the goddamn giant screen. I hate that.
Oh
Yes.
god, that is so
I was
annoying.
I was going to bring that up. That's why I think both of these controllers are better than the DualSense.
Share button
I
is
agree.
dumb.
So, in that case, the DualSense in my book can't be higher than 3. But if we're also considering the history argument, the Wii Remote for sure is higher than the DualSense. The GameCube controller arguably is also. So, I think
PS5 at 5, GameCube at 4.
So I honestly think these two are the 5 and 4. It's just where.
Yeah, it's a coin flip for me either way. I don't care.
So I'm fine with either. I'm fine with. I think both of these controllers are incredible, but if the Wii Remote has to go higher, if the Wii Remote has to go top 3, I'm willing to sink this down. So I guess if I were to do it, I would maybe put GameCube at 5 and then DualSense at 4. But
Gino, where are you at? What's your
I would agree with Mateo because I feel like this is better. This.
Oh, the fastest.
Well, Basil.
Yeah, he was squatching.
Phil, what's your vote? Is it GameCube at 5 or DualSense at 5?
I would say
Personally, I'm leaning towards GameCube, but I mean, I could be outvoted here. It looks like I am, so that's okay.
No, isn't that what you guys just
no,
voted?
no,
we
I
said-
said
no, we said
GameCube should be
GameCube
5. And then
Oh,
DualSense-
okay.
because-
Yeah. Well,
We disagree
then
with
we have it.
yeah.
Okay.
there
You
we
know
go.
what? The vote is there. So GameCube is 5 and DualSense is 4. So,
Okay, so
Get rid of-
now, is this as far as Wii goes? Because we have there's two of us that are like,
This is as
yeah,
far as
Wii.
Like,
Two of
yeah,
us that
think
are-
I think the Wii Remote has. I feel like the Wii Remote his journey is coming to an end,
Okay,
and I'm going to die on that hill now.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
Well, how do you feel? Chris?
I really value the importance that this controller has in the games industry, but
This also.
I
has
don't
motion controls.
miss the Wii Remote, to be honest with you. And I think the Joy-Cons are better than the Wii Remotes, just from the tech that's in them, right? Skyward Sword, in my opinion, played better on the Switch than it did on the Wii.
I wish
right?
we've gotten.
Nintendo Switch Sports is better than Wii Sports,
Yeah,
right? Like,
I-
there's...
I agree features wise, but I think functionally the Wii Remote feels more fun
Yeah,
than the Joy-Con.
I think
Because
this
it's
is.
That's
A,
what I would give Wii Remote.
Yeah,
You know,
It's a
the-
bigger Joy-Con.
the experiences.
listen, that's a factor.
The experiences
That's a
aren't
factor,
aren't quite there.
Especially with motion, like the weight matters, right? Like the feeling matters.
Yeah,
So
Yeah.
but I agree with you that I think this is the furthest Wii goes because I
Yeah.
don't think that those, I think that it can't go beyond this.
okay.
All right, so we're putting the Wiimote at 3. And now, to be honest with you, I feel like this is the easiest one is to pick number 1 because I feel like
Should we-
everyone would probably be fought with the Switch 2 Pro controller being at number 1. I don't know, just based on everything we've said.
I would say the Xbox Series is above the Pro Controller, and there's one specific.
You just said it was too small, Gino.
I know it's too small, but I can't use this on a non-Nintendo system. I can use this on a non-Xbox system.
If
I
I
mean,
I
you'll
can
be
barely-
able. Technically, you can use this. You just have to plug it in. But you will be able to. Eventually.
Once that happens, then this is my clear one.
Okay, I think it comes down to just who thinks what, right? So I'm just gonna say I think this is number 1. If I could use this on PC, I would. I can't, but so I don't.
Yeah,
But I would.
I would.
I put
Yeah.
the Pro controller at 1 as well.
Phil, I'm
I
with you
agree.
on that.
And honestly, it comes down to me. Part of it is the feel. Like I do like how it feels bigger. But honestly, when it comes down to me, at the end of the day, is just I've always felt that the Xbox One and Xbox Series controllers are soulless. They feel good in your hand, but every time I look at it, I'm like, damn, this just looks so manufactured.
Microsoft.
That's
what
how
he
I feel.
said.
I know, but that's just how I feel. Like it's.
Yeah.
I don't, and I think look matters.
I think there's a lot of parts that make this successful. I think if you just look at it functionally, it has an absolutely phenomenal D-pad. It has the best battery, just the best battery. The
Yeah.
feel,
Battery's a big one.
the feel is fantastic.
Yeah.
You know,
You can tap an amiibo on it.
yeah,
It has motion control built in.
Yeah. There's a lot that this controller does, and the DualSense by extension that Microsoft could use and put in a revised version of this controller to arguably make the greatest controller of all time. Like, they have
Yeah.
the potential to do that. The form factor of the Xbox Series controller, I feel like, is near perfect, and with those added features like an accelerometer, like that would allow for motion aiming and better rumble and that type of stuff, with a battery, like a built-in battery that could last potentially as long as this. Maybe it doesn't have to be as long, but like I feel like there is potential for that in a future controller. Maybe the Helix will have that controller, but
yeah.
at face value, I think this
it's just
this is the Switch 2 Pro. It's
just the
It's
evolution.
also like
This is newer, right? This is like
Yeah.
it says more newer tech than this. This
Yeah,
guy was
it's-
made a few years ago. This is like this last year, so design.
not even a year old.
Yeah.
and I think it also always you can't separate controller from game. And at the end of the day, like it comes like with the DualSense and with the Xbox controller, it doesn't matter what features they put into those controllers. To me, it's like the features are just like when they put them into the controllers, it's just like here's something we can say is in there and we're never going to utilize it. Its
Yeah.
potential. Whereas
Mhm.
that's what I love about Nintendo controllers is that like they use the stuff in this controller. So
Yeah.
that's also what gives me like more like I like the controller more because I'm like, oh well, I actually scan the amiibos. I actually use the motion. I actually like use the back
Yeah.
buttons. Like
The back buttons
I'm
being
actually
standard.
using those.
As someone with a spouse, these buttons are all cushioned. They're like dampened. I think it was in their advertising, but they're actually really quiet, and the D-pad too. Like when you press these buttons, they like zero sound, so you can like play without bothering anyone. I think that's amazing.
Yeah,
They
very
thought
quiet.
about that. You
I
know,
never noticed that.
Yeah, and it's
Yeah,
it's
it
way
doesn't like-
it's way quieter than any other controller, and they did that on purpose. So they thought of like so many ways to improve this controller, and it's still like the standard layout that people love. So I just want to put that in there. Yeah.
So yeah, just quickly, our top 10 controllers of all time. This will be going down in the history of the hub world. Take this to the bank. This is the greatest list of all time.
No other list like this.
Yeah. So number 10, we have the Nintendo 64 controller. Number 9, the Joy-Con 2. Number 8, the Xbox 360 controller. Number 7, I don't have a DualShock 2, but here is the DualShock 2.
You gotta put a PNG in there.
Yes. Number 6.
Feels good about
Hey.
Number 6, the Super Nintendo controller. Number 5, the GameCube controller. Number 4, the DualSense controller. Number 3, the Wii Remote. Number 2, the Xbox Series X controller. And number 1, the Nintendo Switch 2 Pro controller. That is the Hub World's official top 10 controllers of all time. Maybe we will revise this list in the future when more controllers come out.
Yeah.
Who knows? But anyways, everybody, thank you for listening through the video all the way. I feel like the experiment of doing a top 10 list live worked out pretty well. So I'd like to thank Jules and Phil for joining us.
Thanks, guys.
For this episode, we had a very great conversation. And as always, everyone, if you liked what we talked about today, please consider liking and subscribing to the Hub World for more future content. Anyways, yeah, we will see you again next time at the Hub World Podcast. Bye.